with his hand in my shoe. Way too close for me. Oh well, at least they allowed me through. Should be a good night in here. Ramo in the main room. People keep pushing me though. No reception on the phone. And I'm thinking, lights are blinding my eyes. They said they'd be here, they said.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the effervescent, wonderful and radiant Elizabeth Scott, straight from Liverpool all the way over to Wood Green. Actually, you didn't just come straight from Liverpool to here. You've been in London for a little bit, haven't you?
I've been here for a few days.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I was beginning to feel privileged. How are you doing, my love?
I'm all right. I'm moving back. I've got myself a new job.
Whoop, whoop. Doing what exactly?
Covent Garden, working in a very fancy shop.
Okay.
So
you don't want people to come by and say hi, do you? It's that fancy.
So I'm moving back in the next week. Most of my stuff's already down.
Okay. And what area are you looking to move into?
East.
London?
Love my East London.
East, yeah, East girl, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, wicked. Whereabouts East? We talking affluent East or a little bit of grit East?
I like Stratford.
Oh, nice.
That's where I used to live. I used to live in Stratford,
okay.
so I'm thinking about going there because it's got a Westfield.
Central
you don't
line
need
is. Yeah, I was going to say Westfield. You've got the Central line just there, so yeah, really, you don't have to go to them, and people can come to you. Excellent. And you mentioned before, because you've got a lovely voice, you used to do your own podcast.
I did do my own podcast. Now I'm back in London. I want to do it again.
What was it called?
It was just me. I don't even think I had a title. I'm not organised whatsoever. I just used to record it, put it on my Facebook page because I've got a comedy page, Elizabeth Scott.
Yes.
If you could like.
With 2 T's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't stand it when people spell Scott with 1 T.
With 1 T, yeah.
It really winds me up. It just looks odd.
Well, you know what I also can't stand? When people say they make you a cup of tea, they put the bag in for a second, they stir it once, and then they take the tea bag out and add milk, so it just looks like dishwater.
Can't be doing with that.
No, like you, I like it strong tea. But yeah, I don't know what happens, but sometimes people do stuff. Yeah, it just makes me annoyed. What else has annoyed you this week, or have you been happy? Because the weather's annoyed me today.
The weather's annoyed me. I felt like I was going through the menopause before.
What? That the weather was actually fine, but you were seeing something else. That's what I thought. I thought I was still hungover. I was like, there's kids outside playing, but I see nothing but shit in the sky.
It was just so warm on the Piccadilly line, and I was just like, oh my lord, I feel like I'm going through the change. And then I come outside and it was freezing. That's why I've got 2 coats. I'm Elizabeth 2 Coat Scott.
Really? You always wear 2 coats?
I always wear 2 coats.
2 Coat Scott, okay.
Got my biker jacket and then my fake fur.
Okay. Fofo, we say fofo. Have you had you ever ridden a bike before, like in terms of motorbike?
No, I'm no good with bikes, even with push bikes, because I have bad knees. So when I used to go to the gym, my knees used to lock.
So you can't do the spin
so
classes
I
or
can't
anything
do,
like that?
No, and I don't go around on the Santanders either.
The Santanders.
They're not Boris bikes anymore, though, are they?
No, they're Santanders, because Boris is gone, isn't it?
Yeah, so they're Sadiq Santanders now.
Yeah. Isn't that Spanish owned, though, which is weird?
Oh, I don't know.
It's got a weird Spanish name, I think. Santander Spanish. We could pull it up, but yeah, I swear they've got a different name. Did you? Because obviously in Liverpool there was Brexit thing going on. Were you caught between gigs, or was there a frenzy going on in your neighbourhood?
A frenzy?
Yeah, like people putting up posters and stuff. It seemed like it was back in the day.
Liverpool's quite because it's a Labour city. In fact, everyone in Liverpool voted to stay because if it wasn't for the European Union, we wouldn't have been capital of culture in 2008. And the EU has done so many things for Liverpool as a city. If you go there now, people sometimes still associate Liverpool with the nitty-gritty 80s, look. And it's not like if you go there, it's so cool. There's new things happening all the time. It's becoming like London now. They've got their bikes and the city's expanding. And it's a beautiful city.
Is there like trams or like a subway system or an underground?
We do have an underground that goes from the Wirral back over to Liverpool.
The Wirral?
And that's as far
Where's
as
Where's the Wirral? I love the way you said that.
Is over the water,
over the water.
Birkenhead. The lovely sights of Birkenhead. You should go to Birkenhead. If you like Tottenham, then you should go to
it's
Birkenhead.
Tottenham up there, yeah? Okay. You're from an interesting part of Liverpool, though. You told me before it begins with
Wavertree.
Wavertree. And down there is also where a few other famous, awesome...
George Harrison was born in Arnold Grove, which is at the back of Wavertree High Street. So if you go around there, there's just tourists all the time, and people getting their photos taken outside of his house. It's unreal, and they've got the magical mystery tour bus, which is actually real. People always get off, and then John Lennon lived round by my ways as well, so a lot of people go there. It's interesting. Kim Cattrall apparently is from there, and Ross Barkley.
Ross Barkley. Oh, bless him. I think he's a very talented football player. Are you? Because you don't really mind the red or the blue, do you?
I tell you who else is from there. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Relax, don't do it. He's from Wavertree.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm neither a red or a blue. I'm neutral.
You're neutral.
I am.
Okay. So you just like seeing the people around you in a pub basically sing songs, going crazy. And you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And I mean, did you start out doing comedy in Liverpool, or was it?
I used to do drama. I've got a little HND.
Oh.
I know. Stand back, guys.
Plot thickens. Here we go.
Whoa. He's unleashing the HND. So I kind of just found that I was always better at just pissing about rather than doing the Shakespeare
the serious stuff,
and all that Mike Lee and Willie Russell. I was just better at just making people laugh. So that's how I ended up in comedy. I like the limelight. Sometimes I like to just piss about.
You take a mean picture. I've seen your Snapchat. Actually, I haven't. I think it's your Instagram. I'm not too sure, but you take nice pictures. So obviously you like the lights and glitz and stuff when you was a kid, like you wanted to be a princess maybe.
Do you know what I used to watch when I was a kid? How old are you, by the way? Are you my age?
I'm 32 years old.
So you're
born in
the
1984.
same. Yeah, you're the same age as me. Do you remember The Biz?
Biz.
On CBBC. And it was about a stage school.
Yes, I do. Oh my gosh.
And it had Paul Nichols in.
Paul Nichols was the guy who ended up in
EastEnders
and The Bill. Yeah.
So it had, so that had, I think it was like set in like a stage school like Sylvia Young. So I wanted to always be like that. I was like, oh my god, this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
So I was always performing. This is really embarrassing. Why am I telling you
it's
this?
Not embarrassing though, because you're from a great part of the world.
You haven't heard this, okay?
Here we go.
So my nan, right, God rest her soul, she had a video of Michael Barrymore, right, live at this theatre doing a big variety show. And he was doing a Blues Brothers song and he was doing all this comedy. So I used to make my nan put it on every time I'd go round, right? And then we had these like little bits of like old like cottages and stuff in Wavertree. And they've got like a lot of them are waste ground and stuff and they're abandoned. So I used to make stages in there and then get all my friends, and I had like this portable mic that was battery operated. So I'd take that to these abandoned houses and like make tickets out of card with felt tip. Okay. And I used to say to my friend, come and see me doing an ode to Michael Barrymore.
How old are you then?
About 7, I think.
Oh, that's so sweet.
No, maybe about 9, I think. And so that was a lot of my childhood. It was just me wanting to perform constantly for people, and my mum was always trying to get me to do silly voices at the bus stop.
So you were kind of producing and writing your own stuff and back then as well.
I know.
You were even selling your own tickets. Live Nation be damned. She's already a boss. Okay, so I was going to say, because Liverpool at the time had some amazing TV shows. You had Phil Redmond basically pumping out like... Brookside, what else did he do?
He did Hollyoaks.
Hollyoaks, yeah. Didn't he do Grange Hill?
He did Grange Hill, yeah.
So, I mean, being a girl from Liverpool, he did a few shows back then. You probably woke up, dreamt, you know, one day
I'll be on Brookside.
Yeah. I'll be on Brookside. Did you actually watch that show?
I did. Used to watch it, and I was mortified every time I saw it. I was just like, oh.
Is this what's going on down the road?
I really hope that people don't think this is what Liverpool is like.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I suppose. I mean, EastEnders is terrible for one reason, because not everyone in the East End is that typical.
Exactly. If you go to the East End, it's such a mixed bag of people. It's not like what it is on EastEnders.
Whereas EastEnders is one note, You love your old East London anyway.
I love East London so much.
Would you go on EastEnders if you know your comedy career was good? You're doing like a special every 2 years, and you're like, oh, I might want a simple.
If it meant doing a scene with the beautiful Danny Dyer, he's my future husband. He just doesn't know it.
Oh, okay. So there's a crush on Danny.
Oh, I love him.
Listen, I could just make some things happen so that you end up falling into his arms. He's a gentleman. He'll catch you.
Oh, he's beautiful.
Yeah, it involves throwing you off of a roof, though.
It's so much love for him and Jack Wilshere.
Oh, you like his bit of Jack as well, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. God bless you. The fact that he's an Arsenal player, I will not hold that against you. I think he's talented on and off the pitch. Let's just say that.
Yeah. He's beautiful to look at. That's all that matters.
I've seen a video of him in a club, maybe near China Whites. I'm not saying it was China Whites, but it was very near it. Yeah, they like to party, footballers. Have you dated anyone famous?
I can't say.
You can't say. Okay,
I've dated someone in the industry, but
okay,
he's not like a household name.
Okay, yeah. I've
He was a journalist.
Oh, okay. A comedy journalist?
No,
okay,
sports.
So when you say the industry, I thought you meant comedy, because obviously,
No.
unless you say what industry,
the industry, darling.
Unless you say what industry it is, I would only assume it's our industry. So, like, I know a comic who's dated another comic, and he was like, "Yes, I dated a girl in the industry." I'm like, "Wait a minute, dude, what are you talking about?" So yeah, a journalist, was that fun?
Yeah, he's so funny. I don't want to talk too much about him.
No, of course, yeah. Because I mean, sometimes people date outside of their own field, which is more healthy than dating people inside your own field. So I couldn't imagine what life would be like to date a comic.
I don't know what it'd be like to date, because I've never dated a stand-up comedian.
Mm.
I think it'd motivate me to do more gigs, definitely.
Probably, yeah. But I mean, in that, you still found a person who wasn't a stand-up comic who was really funny, and I think sometimes that happens as well when you're with someone else. And you can find the funny in just a person who has no desire to go on stage, and you're like, wow, you're really funny.
I like a man who can make me laugh.
Yeah, that's very key I think most men have realised that now anyway. Or no, actually not all of them. I know some doctors who've got a poor bedside manner. So what kind of jobs did you do growing up in Liverpool?
I've worked everywhere. I've worked in a hospital doing admin. I've worked in Primark. I've worked in a care home. So and I've worked in a furniture store. I've worked in a tattooist. So I think I've seen most things in life. It's absurd.
Most things
I don't
in
know
life,
how
including blood and maybe some other bodily fluid. Okay.
I don't know how
you deserve
I
to go
end
to
up
heaven.
in these situations, but I do.
Well, it makes for fun material. So you moved from Liverpool when you were younger, or you stayed up there?
No, I moved down when I was about 28, down to London.
Yeah.
I've got so much envy of people like yourself that just are born into such a beautiful city. You might not think that it's beautiful. It's the same when people say to me, "Oh, Liverpool's so cool." I'm bored of it. Do you know what I mean? It's not that it's horrible. I'm just bored of it.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like you were the first person to date this magnificent human being, and now you know that you've moved on. They're like your childhood sweetheart. You still adore them, you still are kind of friends, but you realize they're now dating every single person that's got a ticket to him or her. And so you kind of like, well, I've been here for years now, it's time for me to kind of move on. That's how I feel about London. But I understand, like, Liverpool is I would say it's like a hot spring of culture and art. Like, it just keeps shooting up with new, footballers and bloody artists and singers and producers. And even, I think I'm going to go as far to say, not because you're here, I don't want you to feel like you're on a spot, but some of the most beautiful women I've ever met have been from Liverpool.
They do make an effort, don't they?
As they say, they scroll up nicely, yeah.
Even if they're going to the shop around the corner, they have to get a full face of makeup on, because they just won't leave the house otherwise.
Not in London.
And that's what I like London, for the fact that if I don't want to put makeup on today, I don't have to. No one's looking at me going, "Oh my God, why hasn't she got any makeup on?"
Yeah.
I can just get the tube with my hair up.
Yeah.
And no one's going, "Why hasn't she got her hair blow dried?"
Well, the thing is, in London, it's radically different, to the point where old men are complaining because they can't go to their local Tesco's without seeing women in their dressing gowns and pyjamas, just going down quickly to get some milk and some stuff.
It does get like that in Liverpool.
Really?
Yeah, they'll put full face makeup on, but then leave the pyjamas on.
But that's fine. At least they don't, I don't know, they're making kind of a bit of a business on the top, party at the bottom.
And you just think, have you had a shower? Or have you just rolled out of bed?
I know. It's only bad though if they're like, if they took a shower before they went to sleep and they only had 5 hours of sleep, then it's not that bad. But if they had intercourse, then yeah, that could be terrible. So you started doing comedy when?
Okay, so I think I did. We did like this show in college when I was about 19, and we had to do stand up.
I love these stories.
So I dressed up as a prostitute. I don't know what a prostitute dresses like, but I was a prostitute. I had the shortest skirt. I made sure all my cellulite was out, and I just put all this makeup all over my face. And I put lipstick all over my teeth, and I just made sure that I looked horrendous.
Okay, so like a £3 whore, basically, not a good whore. Just, yeah.
Got up on stage, just spoke for 5 minutes, and I was really good. And then I think I left it then. I don't know why. I'm just so lazy, Mel. That's all it is. I'm lazy. So
you
I
procrastinate
left it.
a bit.
I do.
Do you ever pick up a book, read it halfway, and just go, okay, I'll read it?
I always do
that.
that.
Yeah. I got like 5 books that haven't been finished since like 2005. It's bad. Yeah.
I'm the queen of the procrastinators.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then about 5 years later, I did another gig as part of a comedy course in Merseyside, and then I didn't do it then until I moved back down to London. So when I moved back down to London, I was talking to someone who knew Martin Besserman.
Oh, okay, yeah, Monkey Business.
Yeah. So he was like, "Why don't you get yourself there?" So I thought, well, I might as well. And then I started doing it then. I started gigging with Lenny Sherman, Ben Adams and all them. And Dan O'Reilly.
Mm-hmm.
Who else was there? Polly Brown. She doesn't do comedy. There was just so many. And then I just found myself doing it. And then I stopped, looked back and was like, I'm doing this now. Okay, maybe it's time to take a break. And then I think that break lasted for a few months. And then I went back. It's when I think about things, I kind of go, okay, stop. And why do you do that, Elizabeth? Why just stop? I'm so annoyed at myself now.
No, because I haven't been clinically diagnosed with anything, but like if you just look at the walls behind you, I feel like I've got some form of like ADD. And like I love cooking shows, like, do you know what I mean? And I almost punched Doug Gordon. Have you met Doug Gordon? He's an Australian comic from Melbourne. Okay, he's a big guy. He's been on one of my shows. I punched him in the arm because he wouldn't give me the recipe for his yabby salad. Yabbies are like kind of blue crabs, crayfish. And I wanted his recipe because he says he makes a mean yabby salad. And he wouldn't tell me because it's a family secret. I had to sit through like 5 series of MasterChef Australia, which if you know, it's got like 100 episodes. It's fucking ridiculous. So I'm just saying, I wanted to kind of get to know, you know, another world, which I couldn't really do. And thanks to comedy now, it's making it happen for me. So I like the fact that even though it's taken you a few years between what's going on and then you go inside yourself and think, you're going to come out of it with at least some more contacts, some more friends, some more ways to elaborate on what your thinking was doing before.
I get anxiety. I think that's what a lot of it boils down to. But
your mind moves faster than you think, but the truth is everyone's mind is moving slower than yours. So that's why you panic, because no one's reacting at the same frequency as you.
I guess. I've never thought about it like that.
Yeah, there's no such thing as normal under the sun. Not while people are killing puppies and smiling about it. I love puppies. Did you have any pets growing up?
I had a budgie.
A budgie?
I didn't kill it down.
Okay. Wait a minute. What? An admission like that so quickly is like, was there a case where you put on trial for a moment? Did they suspect you?
I had a budgie and I had fish and I had a pet rabbit.
Okay.
I think I need another form of animal because I'm 32 and my body clock is slowly but surely just like saying, come on, Elizabeth, it's time to pop out a few offspring. But my head's just like, no, not yet. And I'm 32 and I think, is it going to get to a point now where I'm about 38 and I'm like, oh, maybe it's time now. I don't know. So maybe just get an animal.
The oldest woman recorded to have a baby was like 60 something, and that was in England. Then there was one in Italy, but they could never genetically test it because she didn't want anyone to go near her afterwards. But yeah, people have kids into ridiculous ages via whatever.
Well, my mum was 40 when she had me, so maybe history will repeat itself.
Yeah, but I mean, why put a social biological clock on you? Like, oh my God, I've now got to 35. I'm halfway through my 30s. Maybe I should think about, and then you just start psychologically profiling people to lock them down into it. And really, it's
the thing is that I already have their school picked. I know that they're going to Holland Park.
Oh my God! All right, that's not bad. Holland Park's a nice area. It's on the Central Line. It's fine. It all makes sense to me. Yeah.
So I don't know whether that. I think I've thought about their future plans more than I've thought about the actual having children. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I still feel like a big kid though, because I know this sounds vain, but I don't look 32. I still
You
get
don't at all,
ID'd
by the way.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Because I look like a 19-year-old, and today I'm dressed like a schoolgirl because I have a dress on that looks a bit Catholic-y.
Okay. Were you raised a Catholic, or were you just trying to put that?
It
You're trying to put that.
because I've got ginger hair. I just look like a Saint Trinian constantly.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. What is your heritage? Is it just pure English?
It's Irish, Scottish, and Spanish.
Oh,
And
wow.
all my family, like, there's only, like, so my dad's got a massive family. Okay. And there's about 30 of us grandkids. Okay. So my grandmother had, like, 30 grandkids. And out of, like, all of them, there's about 5 of us with either red or fair hair and freckles.
Okay.
All the rest are all dark-haired.
No
And
blonde.
they look like Kardashians. And then there's me that looks like Spuggy from Biker Grove.
How dare you? Why do they look like Kardashians, by the way? Is it because of their skin tone, or they've just
Yeah,
got enormous bums?
Well, that as well. Their skin, their hair, everything.
Okay.
And then there's me, Fizz from Coronation Street.
Fizz. I was going to say, like, there is a strong bloodline of redheads from Liverpool.
There's so many
Ferocious
gingers.
women. Oh my God, you're gonna go far. Because I mean, like, if you were just a fair-haired girl from Bath, I'd be like, oh gosh. I mean, you would have won, but the girl from Liverpool's just kicking ass tonight. I'm sorry. But then, you know, you're from Liverpool, and you're actually from I don't know. You don't see it the way I do, but I'm looking through a mirror, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh my God. And you don't look 32. What part of the year were you born in? What month?
January.
Oh, okay. So you're nice and early. I'm September.
Oh.
Yes.
I'd have been above you. No, you'd have been above me in school. What year were you about? 84?
1984. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have been in above me in school.
Yeah.
I was going to say something then. I've completely forgotten what I was going to say.
It happens a lot. It might
Something
be
to do with...
the-
Oh, yeah, my accent.
Yes.
Right. So when I'm down here, if like... I can't even speak today. When I moved down, my accent changed.
Yeah.
Because when I first came down, I was like... meh, 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 meh. And then I realised you can't be like that in London. So slowly but surely, my accent's changed as well, because I have a lot of friends who can't speak English, so I have to slow my accent down, and I have to talk to them like this.
Mm-hmm.
Which to you probably sounds really scouse, but to me, I think I sound like Emma Thompson. So,
That's a good model to build.
but my accent does get me out of trouble. Like, I talk about this in my stand-up as well. If someone, like... Because, you know, London's not the most safest city. And you do get some people who are quite in your face, or they'll try and attack you. So I'll be walking down the street with my friend, and I'm like, oh my God, you should so get the avocado. I know, right? Oh my God, why didn't we get some quinoa? And then someone will come up to me and just, like, either intimidate me or try and rob me. And I go so scouse. I'm like, who are you talking to? Who are you looking at? You all right, mate? What do you want? And they instantly back off. And then I'm back to my friend going, I'm so sorry about that. Oh my God. That was so awkward.
So what, does she think like you're a drama student, or she knows that you're from Liverpool?
They know I'm from Liverpool.
Okay,
So
okay.
I think my friends hang out with me because it gives them protection. She's scouse, it's fine.
I was going to say, I told you what station to get off at, and I was willing to, I've done it for many of my guests, to walk them from the station here personally, because there's at least 5 or 6 guys that are going to go, you want some weed? I figured, you know, I usually walk them past all of that because it's kind of smoky back there. But you were just like, it's all right. I'm just going to walk on through and strut in my heels. You know, I'm a superhero. I like that about you. Some people, obviously, they don't like being plucked somewhere in the world. They need like a Google Maps, or, you know, and then other people are like, no, I just read road signs. I'll get there eventually. I'll use my phone, or I've got my wits about me. You seem very streetwise. That's my point.
I am quite, I think you have to be. I don't know. As I say, I think it's my accent that gets me out of a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Because I'm not shy. I think that, again, that's a Liverpool thing. Scousers aren't shy.
Yeah. You got to
And,
speak up.
Yeah, we can speak up for ourselves.
Yeah.
'Cause we're used to fighting for ourselves. Because a lot of people in the country don't like Liverpool.
Why?
I don't know. I really
they're
don't know.
talentless.
They go,
They don't look- they're
Scousers.
ugly.
Oh,
They're-
I can't stand Scousers and all this. I've had that a lot.
From who?
Just from people around the country. I've found myself, a lot of people are quick to say, oh, they're all car thieves, they're all robbers, and it's just ridiculous. So I think we've had to fight a lot over the years to try and say, hang on, we're actually all right. So when someone does get in my face, I'm like, what, mate? I just go back to being 14.
Yeah.
I used to have a sovereign, right?
Well, a ring.
Yeah.
For those who are listening, a sovereign ring. Yeah, go on.
I used to have a sovereign ring, a Versace handbag, a face full of makeup, big high heels to school. This was to school.
All you were missing was cornrows, and then you would have been like in a gang in Tottenham. Trust me. Oh, that's all you were missing.
And I used to get my hair blow dried and all that for school.
Well, blow dried. So it's an afro, or so it's.
No, so like a curly blow
Oh,
dry.
okay. Was that like a
It's like the
powder?
Scouse way of doing things. The Scouse girls love big hair.
Big hair? Okay, because it's like you're a lioness, and so you go. "Arr."
Yeah. Used to walk around. Honestly, I don't know what I thought it was. Ridiculous.
What about clubbing back in the day? Because I remember going to a few clubs from the age. I think the youngest, Yates doesn't really count, but on my 16th birthday I went into a Yates. But from that moment on, I think I steadily tried to, on a weekend, go to club after club after club. So what's your kind of Liverpool? Because I heard it's got it going on up there.
Yeah, the nightlife is absolutely absurd for Saturday night. But when I was young, I used to be a goth, you see. So I used to go to this club in Liverpool. And if any of my Liverpool friends are listening, they'll know about... Hey! They'll know about the Crazy House. We always used to go to this club called the Crazy House. And it had 3 floors, okay? So the first floor played metal. Second was more indie. And the third was more pop and skater tunes.
Okay.
So we used to go Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'd go out with like a tenner and come home with about 30 quid. I don't know how. But I don't know how. I used to just go out and just
rob people.
I didn't rob people, but I don't know where all these drinks used to come from.
Oh, okay.
It was ridiculous. I'd still make my way. I used to walk from town as well with my mates.
I think the truth is you're facially gifted, and maybe after a while of too many people trying to buy you drinks, they just threw money at you, and you're like, "Listen, I told you stop." Oh, actually, that's a pinky. And you just had fun with your girls.
No, it wasn't so much me girls. There was just a massive group of us. There was about 50 of us in the group, and we all used to just go out and for days. But now I'm older, we don't really do all that anymore, and I'm glad. I woke up today after like 12 hours sleep, and I was just aching all over. I'm just like, I'm too old now. I go out for a drink in Weatherspoons, and I can't wait. I'd rather sit in Weatherspoons with some. What are they? What's that cheese? Halloumi.
Halloumi, yeah.
I'd rather sit with halloumi and chicken strips and stuff than go and down a load of cheeky Vimtos and all that.
Cheeky Vimto is in like Vimto with rum or some kind of vodka or something.
Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? Like a cocktail. But I'm too old now, Mel.
Is that what they used to do then? Like have just squash and liquor?
Yeah, we used to always go. We used to go to the Walkabout. This bar called the Walkabout.
The
There's one in
Walkabout,
Temple, isn't there?
Yeah, that's the one I went. That's the one I've been to. Yeah.
And they used to have Mad Mondays, and you just find yourself amongst all these people. A lad would get on stage to get his top out for a drink, and I just think I look back at this now, and I'm just quite happy to just stay in bed now and to just
Netflix and chill.
Yeah. I can't wait to get into my pyjamas.
Yeah, I like my bed as well, but unfortunately I have to leave my house for 12 hours just to make sure I can go back to the 4 walls and a roof that keep the lovely bed that I want to go back to. But I'm going to take it that, because that was crazy Mad Mondays, you said?
Yeah, Mad Mondays.
You've also said that you went to a place on a Tuesday, Thursday and a Saturday?
So it was the Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
And then Mondays and Tuesdays would be spent in this heavy metal pub called the Swan.
Okay. The Swan where?
In Liverpool.
Okay.
In town, in Liverpool city centre. And we just listened to Metallica and Limp Bizkit.
Okay.
And just stay out all week. And I just don't know how I did it, but that's
as a kid,
young.
you'd leave. Yeah, as a kid, you could leave your house for 4 weeks, and like, if it wasn't for the fact that you knew your parents somehow was kind of worried about you, you probably went in at night time, grabbed the sandwich that they left on your bed, and wrote them like saying, "I'm fine, I'm going back to Jimmy's or back to the treehouse." Like, there was adventures that eventually your parents realized, like, we can't keep them here. Like, they're gonna keep running out with that girl or that boy or whoever they're playing with. So, you know.
What clubs did you go into in Tottenham? Was it all happening in
There
Tottenham?
was one club there was two. There was Warehouse, but I don't think the Warehouse was in Tottenham. I'm trying to think of the one that was near the police station. For those of you who lived in N17, just tell me the name of the one. Opera House, maybe. I don't know. There was one right outside of the police station. And I never ever wanted to go to it because I just thought it was bait. Like, why go to a club outside the police station? Obviously, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to drink liquor, and then, I don't know, to pluck up the courage to go and grab a girl's hand and say, would you dance with me? Because I think I was maybe 17 back then. I would go outside and smoke weed, but then I figured outside is a police station. Why would I do that? So I don't know why, but I went in quickly and went out. There was another one called Juice, though, which is about 10 minutes down the road near the Aldi's. Used to be a Leo, actually. Do you remember Leo?
No.
It's like Aldi and Lidl. It's one of those kind of little stores that it's not quite a supermarket, but it, you know, it's in a place where a supermarket, a small one, can be. So yeah, there was a barber shop, a cafe called Titanic Cafe, and right next to it was this freaking building just next to the Prince of Wales pub. And I didn't realize everyone would just leave the Prince of Wales pub at 11 o'clock and spill into this place. It had 3 rooms. One room was hip hop, mostly R&B, like slow grinding tunes. That room had so much sweat on the walls, but not as much sweat as the next door, which was dance hall and reggae. And like, it was just like going there in the panties and the bra. Guys were going there with the loincloth, and that was acceptable because really it was so hot in there and you were grinding so much with people. Even when somebody like tried to get past you, you wouldn't have to move your arms because it was so sweaty, they'll just slip past you. So that was that third room. And then the last room was drum and bass, house, techno, and all those other types of music that wasn't quite, you know, like, it was too quick. It was high tempo, that kind of music.
Well, I said I'm going to go to Fabric. Now I'm back.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, I've got some breaking news for you.
It's been saved. They
Good.
haven't closed it. They've saved it. Sadiq saved it.
Ah, so it was just shut for a while.
It was just shut for a while.
Big up to Sadiq Khan.
Exactly. Vivienne Westwood was in there a couple of weeks ago, not off her face, but she was
having fun.
She was at London Fashion Week, yeah.
Allegedly off her face. Yeah, okay, Fabric's still back. I was sad for a bit, but no need to be glum. Fabric's back. Let's all go
Fabric's
down here.
back.
Shots if you see me at the bar. Just say hashtag Midnite Mail.
So I'm going there, and I'm going to Queen of Hoxton as well in the next few weeks.
Queen of Hoxton is a very nice place. Stop into Electric Circus or Electric Ballroom. Which one is it? Circus, I think.
Yeah, there's not in Shoreditch.
Yeah. It's not too far from there. I like going to Red Dog, the barbecue place, Hoxton Square.
Yeah, I
just
love Hoxton Square.
Oh,
And
Hoxton Square's
Vibe
awesome.
in Brick Lane, so
Vibe
cool.
is awesome as well, yeah. See, you still got it in you, girl. You still have a little bit of that, you know. I know where to go and how to do it when I'm there. There's all these apps now on phones and stuff like that. Like, you can get a free cocktail, or you can get like fast track passes, or you can book a guest list like at short notice. So if you go there and guys like guest list, you'd be like, yeah, are you sure? Check again. And they're like, oh yeah, there you are, right there at the bottom. I love going out, man, but it's fucking expensive in London. How do you do it?
It's so expensive. Well, I'm not a massive drinker. I can make one drink last me about 2 hours. I'm a nightmare.
So do you get like an Aperol spritz, something in a big glass?
I always get a cranberry and vodka.
Okay.
And then I'll have one of them, and then about 2 hours later I'll have another one.
A pint of cranberry and vodka? Okay. Right. I've actually served somebody a pint of cranberry and vodka. I used to work in a bar. I used to be a chef as well. I've done a lot of jobs.
You're like me. You've done everything.
Yeah, I just couldn't take. I like money. I just don't like working for someone else who doesn't care about the people who's making him rich. That's all. But yeah, I worked in a care home as well. I was a nursing assistant for a while. Work in hospital now. Just freelancing. Actually, if I get a call past midnight, I might have to run. But it's okay. I told them, don't interfere with comedy. And yeah. But it means, I don't know, like after a while when you can't do all of these jobs and everyone around you starts saying, maybe you should go to college then and get a degree and learn something because we're worried about you. You can't be a professional clown or an entertainer, or acting is hard to get into. Music, they don't feel like you can actually excel in entertainment. And it's like you get to a point where you're the only one who believes in yourself, which is kind of tough. But yeah, I'm at the point where it's like I want to be able to stop working, and I don't know how people who's in my life are going to take that.
I'd love to just go and buy a house or an apartment in like Mayfair.
Really?
And just do nothing but just be fabulous for the rest of my life.
Mine's a rooftop penthouse in Manhattan. That's what I want. That's going to be mad expensive though. We're talking about 20 million maybe.
Oh, you've only got another few years then.
Yeah. Grinding and maybe sleeping with some people, who knows, to get the contract. It doesn't work like that anymore, but who knows. So yeah, comedy took over for you after what? So you did a few years on and off, and then you decided to come to London and make it happen.
So I came to London. I thought, I'm here, so why not? So I started doing this character, and I'd go on stage like full face of makeup and fake eyelashes, and like loads of shopping bags, and I was like, oh my god, me fella. And I used to talk about me fella who's in jail and stuff like that. And then some people used to come up to me after the gig and be like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that your boyfriend's in prison, that must be terrible. And I'm like, no, he's not. I don't really talk like that.
Back to Emma Thompson.
So I thought, well, I might as well. And then I found I don't know, some people loved me, but then some people didn't like me. It was mainly city girls who didn't like me.
Like London?
Accountant, city, like London city accountant type of women. They didn't like me. They'd just be like, ugh. So, but then I found, just by talking to people and just being myself on stage, I got laughs, and people started saying, you know what, it's just when we talk, when we hear you, it's like listening to a mate in the pub. And you're dead down to earth, and you know you are. If you do make a mistake on stage, you just, because I'm quite ditzy, you laugh about it and you go, "What was I talking about? What was I talking?" And so people like that in me. So I thought, well, do you know what? I'm just going to be myself. I'm just going to be myself, and then if people like me, they like me. If they don't, they don't. I don't see why I have to do a big character and rely on things all the time. I'm just going to talk to people and see how that works. So I've got a gig tomorrow for Martin at Monkey Business. I'm just going to talk to people.
And this is in Camden Town, right?
It's in Hampstead Heath.
Oh, okay, so he's got one in Hampstead Heath.
Yeah,
okay.
It's at the Café Rouge.
Cafe Rouge.
Heath.
Okay, I'll put the details down.
So I don't know how well, again, I don't really do my Scouse stuff anymore. And that was another thing. People couldn't understand me. If they were from another country, like I'd get like Spanish people to, I can't understand you, I'm sorry. But if anyone else got up and they'd be like, oh my god, they laughed at that. Then they'd be like, come on to me, are you Scottish? I'm like, no, I'm not Scottish, babes.
You have Scottish in you, so that's quite a find. Because, I was going to say, you probably have your own voice when you first want to, like you were selling tickets to your friend back in the day, and you were making your own freaking show. Like you were a producer, you were Live Nation, you were all of that, you were the whole machine. And then at some point you got into comedy. I know there's other people telling you stuff as well, or you probably having thoughts, and then like you took some time off and you come back, but now you're back with your own voice. It's got to feel even better now because everyone's getting you essentially. That's why it's easy to listen to instead of like, oh, it's hard to hear, because the people who are even Spanish would probably turn to their friend who speaks English and say, what does she say? It looks funny. Instead of like, I can't. I have no idea, you know?
I have had someone come up to me and go, I couldn't understand a word you were saying, but you're very lovely.
Oh. I've had somebody who said, they couldn't understand a word I said. You talk too fast, but it seemed very funny. You're going to go far. I was like, thank you, sir. But I think sometimes people can appreciate comedy, man. I mean, I always now like to think about blind people. I'm like, if there's somebody blind in my act, I have to at least talk the act out so that it's visual enough so that they can see it as well.
That's a very good point. Maybe I should adopt that.
Or just like when you're trying to get to the punchline, because they could probably follow everything up to the point where you're trying to make an impact. If you jump or you do some kind of movements with the mic, I'm just going to try and at least build up in a descriptive way. That's why some of my punchlines, I think you can read the transcript and it's funnier than any time I've said it in the last week or so, because just, I don't know, sometimes I stray slightly outside of the lines.
I don't have punchlines. As I say, I just talk to people.
Yeah.
I'm getting more Scouse as this show goes on. I don't know why.
Oh, it's lovely. Yeah. Just being yourself and getting comfortable on holodeck makes you come out with your mother tongue. Who knows, might start coming out with some Jamaican stuff. No, I'm not. I can't do that. I haven't really ever spoken like that my entire life. See, I was the white sheep of my family.
Really?
Yeah, I spoke like this from birth. I don't know. I remember one day holding a microwave and a fork and a kite. Well, not necessarily in that order, but I was on top of the microwave with a kite and a fork. Anyway, needless to say, something happened. I got a radio signal and it beamed me into a different voice. And everyone looked at me like I was the milkman's kid. But yeah, it's growing up was kind of weird. And I think that's what made me jump into comedy. I always wanted to do acting and stuff like that. I do want to do like the, carpenter or anything like that. I didn't want to be a tradesman. I didn't want to... I wanted to work with computers, I suppose, because I was always playing video games. But I was kind of a nerd. I was like... Back in the day, I was very... it was just me and two friends or something like that. And then somewhere along the line, I think between 16 to 18, I turned into an absolute animal. Just a freaking beast in more ways than one. And it took me another 6 years to become a comedian. And another 8 years to get on stage. So, a weird, quick round journey.
When's your next gig then?
My last gig was last night. My next gig is I have no idea. I haven't booked anything. I was planning on doing like a walk on next week.
Where did you do a gig last night?
Last night was at the King's Head, downstairs at the King's Head.
Oh, I want to do that.
Yeah. Did you call the dude? I told you.
I called him, but haven't you got to do it between a certain hour of the day? But I was in work.
Yeah.
So now
try and
I'm
get
back.
it done like with your morning shower. No, not that early. Between I'd say 9 to 12 is the perfect time. If you can get any time in there, like a toilet break, a phantom toilet break when you're checking your Facebook, any of those moments, just quickly. Hello, mate. How you doing? Yeah, hi. My name is. Thank you very much. See ya. Boom. You can get the call done in a minute. I know.
Do you get like because it's quite known, isn't it?
It's very known.
It's so known.
You get the heebie-jeebies if that's what you're asking.
So it must be quite. I'd feel so pressured.
Do about 6 normal open mic gigs, and that's it. You'll be fine.
Really? I've
Don't
done
go
more
into
than
it dry. If you go into it dry, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Because the crowd is varied and they're frenzied. They know what comedy is. They know different types of comedy music and everything like that. If you go in there for a moment and you have a, they will sense that so quick, and then they'll be on their phones or they'll go. You can lose them very quickly. So they are primed for real comedy, and they turn out. There's a big crowd there. It's not like some other rooms where you can try out new material and the crowd is basically just other comics. So it's a very good room. They'll laugh if it's funny. They'll laugh if you're genuine and your personality shines through. They won't laugh if the material's vulgar, in bad taste, not funny at all, and if you seem like you're struggling for, like if you're nervous or something like that. Other than that, do 6 gigs and you're fine.
I might try it.
Yeah.
I might try it.
Because obviously it's often a Thursday, so you can throw a Monday gig, a TNT or a G&B on Tuesday, a Wednesday We Are Funny or something like that, and then bam, Thursday you're primed. You can even do it in free. But I would, do some gigs before, so because you might come up with something fun, you'd be like, I've got to use this now because it was there yesterday and it made so much sense.
Is there quite a lot of because I don't want to say famous people in the audience, but is there quite a lot of...
No, I've never met anyone famous there.
Really, because a lot of famous people started out there.
Absolutely. And if a famous person walks in, they're going to be smart enough and famous enough to stay in a corner where it's dark, where they can't be seen. They will applaud quietly, and then at the end of the show, they'll probably walk out. But I've never seen anyone famous come and sit down, and everyone's like, oh my God, everyone, it's over here, Stuart Lee. And then, because the rest of the night is done. Everyone's like, come on, Stuart, say some words. No. It takes one bad act for the night to go right. And because it's like a traditional new material night, there was 15 that night. I would say, if I'm going to be honest, I'll put myself in this pile. Half of the acts were great, half of the acts weren't so great.
Yeah.
Or no, that's too much. That's too big a margin. I'd say about 2 or 3 didn't quite hit the mark in terms of laughter from the crowd.
Yeah.
But other than that, everyone else did great. Some people were more prepared than others. Some people about to do a show. But it's a journey comedy. It's not a competition or a race.
I have missed it. I have missed it in sense. But that's another thing I love about London is no one's bothered if they see like a famous person. They just walk past and no one makes a big deal.
I don't know about you, but sorry to cut you. There was a G&B, sorry, TNT at the Vine in Kentish Town. Russell Brand came round.
Oh, I saw. Because I was supposed to go that night.
Everyone went fucking crazy. It was ridiculous. Okay, listen. So at the time, me and my bestie Mikey were there, and there was other people there. Natasha Smith, because she's very close friends with Russell, so he came down to see her do her first gig at TNT, or it might have just been her first gig in general. And he came down. The fucking frenzy, like from the moment he had got like sat down to watch her perform, everyone was like, oh my God, it's Russell Brand. They were on their phones, and then other cunts were just coming in from nowhere, and it was like he couldn't get out, so he was like, okay, as soon as you're finished, interval, I'm gonna Natasha, let's go, because he knew the amount of people that were on their phones and were ready to send an army to him. So downstairs, he's trying to give everyone a hug and say goodbye to everyone and stuff like that. He's hugging the promoter Sama. And then everyone's outside, and as soon as he's walked outside, it was like, oh my God, I'm going to get a selfie. And it was just like an AIDS wildfire. Like everyone caught it, and everyone was like, oh my God, I'm going to do it as well. And they all just left like it was just rushing like that. Do you remember that old condom advert where all of the sperm are running down the street and they get trapped? It was like that, because like he must have turned around after one point and saw them all stop because they were all running after him with their phones. It was so weird. But yeah, Russell Brand was the kind of celebrity oh shit moment that I witnessed in my comedy life. In other life, I've seen other people when I've lost my shit as well.
But he hangs around Shoreditch all the time,
Yeah,
though.
he's a normal guy.
He's a normal person.
Yeah. Amy Winehouse used to go down to the Hawley Arms in Camden. She was a normal girl. Well, she was one of my favourites, but, you know, normal girl in terms of when she wasn't on stage.
Yeah. See, this is why I love London.
Because we got so many little
Because
sparkles.
you've got so much going on.
Do you remember the song, There's Nothing Like This?
Yeah.
He's from Tottenham. Omar.
Really?
Yes. And another gentleman, Lamar. Do you remember Lamar from
I
Fane of
do,
Camden? Yeah, he's from Tottenham as well. Chipmunk.
Chipmunk.
Yeah, he's from Tottenham. You know Chipmunk?
I know who he is, but I haven't listened. I'm not that down with the kids.
Okay, well, he's now a grown man. I think he's about 21, maybe 22. JME.
I don't know who. Now you're just saying words at me.
Okay, JME is he's a UK rapper. I went to school with him. I'm just trying to name people from Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, London's filled with a lot of nice stuff, but so is Bath. So is Milton Keynes.
Milton Keynes is on the up.
Is it? Yeah. Well, I haven't. What do you mean it's on the up? Like affluent now?
Yeah,
Hipsters?
apparently it's trendy now in Milton Keynes.
Oh, okay.
What freaks me out though about Milton Keynes is everything's in a square,
Yeah.
apart from the roundabout. Everything, it's just one big square.
So does that mean they've just got a few more coffee shops and a Five Guys?
I don't know whether they've got what that bowl thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know. They've got some bowl.
Maybe in late July it's like a public bath. People to just go into, they fill it with water. I don't know. That's what they do in Trafalgar Square. Have you seen it? People go into that water and the cops have to drag them out during like spring and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, when it gets hot in the summer, Trafalgar Square turns into a piss bed. Well, not a piss bed, but just loads of people. They like to get drunk and go out into the city. It's hot everywhere. And obviously, Landmarks is a place that might attract a few homeless people. They get kicked out around 10 a.m. And then you got the people who go there on their lunch break. And they're there from I don't know, 12 until 2. And then from 3 p.m. you got the buskers and the people who want to listen to and see some people doing, juggling and whatnot. And then from about 4:59 maybe, 5 p.m., the Lunatic Fringe come out and they just bring their cans and their bongs and whatever else. I haven't seen a bong actually, just cans. But yeah, people get drunk in Trafalgar Square and they end up in the water. It's very, very sad. You've seen the horses by Piccadilly Circus?
The horses?
Yeah. By the Trocadero. Horse statue. It's near
Yeah.
Eros, yeah. I've seen somebody on the top of that and cops trying to get them down, then they fell in the water.
The Trocadero, I've never walked past anywhere in my life and just smelled urine.
Yeah.
It's horrendous.
Mm-hmm. People do it in the daytime as well, which is terrible.
It's awful around there.
You see, because you're a girl, so when you were young and you needed to pee, your parents would take you into like a McDonald's, or if you were out in the high street, they'll take you somewhere. As a little boy, you didn't have that luxury. It was, you see that bush over there? Don't look around until you're done and shake it 3 times. And if you do it more than that, that's playing with yourself. So you had to pee in public. Like
we used to just go to Little Woods if we
Woods.
needed to wee when we were off shopping. Little Woods, we used to go upstairs, or C&A. We used to run down to the cafe and C&A because that had a cafe.
Okay.
So we used to go C&A or Little Woods.
Wow. See, the cinemas are weird because my mum always used to take me into the girls' toilet. I know, this is weird. This is where I usually take the podcast sometimes. But my mum used to take me into the girls' toilet when I was young. Cinema, sometimes in the shopping city, because she didn't trust me going into the men's on my own. And once I was in Southend, I got really drunk with my best mate. And I was in a club called Fire, I think. And I was so off my face. I've never got this drunk again because I said I just can't drink this much anymore. This is where I realised, like, after 30, I just don't have it in me. Apparently, I ended up in the girls' toilet.
Oh, right.
I threw up in the girls' toilet. I closed this cubicle, and then apparently security escorted me out because the girl was in there saying, I could see a dude's shoes, and my shoes and stuff was poking out of the bottom. She goes, there's a guy in there. And it must have looked like I was doing something weird, but when they found out I was just sprawled over the toilet trying to rest, they took me outside. And I blame my mum for that moment because I probably thought I'd have safety in the girls' toilet. Number 1, and number 2, I'm never drinking again. At least famous last words I've said. But you're not a big drinker, are you?
No, I'm not a big drinker at all. I've calmed down now in my old age.
Oh, stop saying you're old.
I like it though. I like being out and going to Waitrose and stuff like that. I'm happy.
How is Waitrose a sign of growing old?
It's where, you go to Waitrose. That's just what happens when you hit 30. You just all of a sudden find yourself in Waitrose.
I thought it was Marks. Okay.
The Marxies is common.
Is it is it common? Okay, what's the big one in Liverpool? Because I know Sainsbury's and Tesco's everywhere.
Asda and
like
Tesco.
Asda and Tesco.
Oh my word! Yeah.
Right. So
It's not even Asda. It's the Asda. I'm going the Asda.
the Asda.
Yeah, in Liverpool. I'm going the Asda.
Do people still buy clothes from George?
I do, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because we have a Primark down here. Essentially, that's our clothes place, like our tea.
Yeah, it is in Liverpool. If Primark closed in Liverpool, oh my god.
Yeah.
Armageddon.
Oh, really?
There would be. Yeah.
So you have like a shopping city near to where you live, pretty much.
Okay, so we've got Liverpool one. It's like a mini Westfield,
Okay.
and then you've got St John's precinct. Don't go if you ever want to feel bad about your life. Go to St John's shopping centre, and you'll instantly feel better.
Why is it? Is it bad? Bad?
Oh, you haven't seen some of the people that go there.
No decorum.
No.
Okay. All right.
A lot of sausage rolls being thrown around the place. That's another thing in Liverpool. That, me baby's hungry. Why don't you just get it a sausage roll? Oh, okay.
Wait, like baby?
Yeah, they don't care. They'll give them to anyone.
Do
Sausage
they?
rolls are the main staple in Liverpool.
Oh wow! Do they at least like chew the sausage?
Who
rolls so it's
knows?
soft? Okay.
Who knows?
Wow, I've got the image in your head. So you're in London for good now. Are you gonna be staying down here, or you're gonna do stints? Like you're gonna be in London for a little bit and then go
No,
back?
I'm here until I get bored. Okay.
You're here till you get bored.
Yeah.
Until that little gene kicks in. You're like, I need something new.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
I'll go again.
Is that? Get a tiny
But I
bit.
want to stay here now because I love it.
Yeah.
I've been back in Merseyside too long now. Everywhere shuts early in Liverpool. Town's always empty.
How early?
Like the shops all shut at like 8.
Oh, jeez. So not offies, not off licenses.
Oh, we've got off licenses, but it just seems really quiet compared to London. So, and I want to find myself a nice man now. It's time.
So, because I was going to say, you were saying at times you get bored of like London and stuff. You procrastinate. Is that kind of the same in terms of relationships? You were in a long-term or relationship that you considered long
I'm
enough?
just going to doodle while I talk.
Yeah, of
'cause
course.
I'm
Keep
comfortable.
Keep doodling.
Okay, so I had a long-term relationship, and then I had another. This is all my early to mid-20s.
Mm-hmm.
So I had long-term relationships, and then I think I've been single now since like 2011, which is just ridiculous.
You me single, but like you're still dabbling in some fun.
Still dating and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, but I think now, Elizabeth, come on now. Come on, stop playing games.
Are you channeling someone else's voice that they've been saying to you? As in, like,
all
you've
my
heard
friends
this conversation?
tell me off and tell me I need to get someone. All my friends.
Is it
This
because-
ridiculous, Elizabeth?
Listen, my mates put me on Tinder the other day, okay, and I had to reprimand them. But the truth is, I understand where they're coming from. They feel like you're awesome and that you should be shared with somebody. And I think mostly because they're in relationships and they just want you to have the same kind of happy, nauseous glee that they wake up with every morning.
Maybe. Yeah. I think they're just concerned. Oh, come on, Elizabeth.
Yeah. But the truth is, they've got nothing to worry about in terms of you are outgoing enough, you are very facially gifted, and you do comedy. So there's at least 3 things that, because guys, just as much as girls, like a girl with a sense of humor. I think if I meet a girl with a sense of humor, then 90% of the time I might let some shit slide that I might not even like. I'll be like, really? The soup hasn't even arrived and you're doing coke here? But I not really. But I'll make some things slide in the name of, okay, she's very funny, and maybe I might see that she's trying. Do you know what I mean? Like, you might make an effort for someone if there's something really endearing in them, and as long as they want someone for you, that means that they see that in you, so they really shouldn't be worried anyway. As long as you tell them, listen, honeys, don't worry, I've got it covered, okay? The application forms have been sent out, okay? I'm going to start doing auditions in early January, and then you can be here when I go to the mansion and I'll whittle it down to 8. But the truth is, there's an entire big world out there. You are still very fucking young. I don't know why you consider yourself as old, even though you like the Netflix and chill and sandals and pyjamas. Guys are going to love that as well. There's, do you play video games?
I like.
There you go
games.
now. There you go. See, guys, that's 5. I've given you 5 reasons to go and follow Elizabeth Scott, goddammit. But yeah, just watch the floodgates pile in. The truth is, most of my comedy friends, I've never seen you on stage, to be perfectly honest. I had to go and find you online and do the research.
That's
I felt a little bit
fine.
creepy. But most of my friends have spoken so highly about you. So I was like, is it just simply because she's a female and she's a comic and she's funny and better than attractive. They're like, yes to all the above, but she's an awesome person. I was like, oh, thank God. Because, you know, if you were just an arsehole, so it's like, she's awesome and all these other stuff, but you can't get near her. You can't even touch her. You seem the person who's very down to earth and very reachable. So based on those parameters, I don't think your friends have got anything to worry about. I think there's at least 10 more likes on this page based on this. But yeah, so London now, you're going to be in London for a while, and you're going to give just dating a try in terms of through comedy, or you're going to go down the old Tinder?
Do you know what? I've been speed dating. I went speed dating 2 years ago.
Speed dating?
At St. Paul's, at a bar by St. Paul's, and it was horrendous.
Is that sitting on the chairs and they?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Explain it to me. I've never done it.
So I just rocked up with 2 of my friends, my American friend and my French friend. And it was like something out of a sitcom. I just found myself there, and I wasn't really looking because I was dating someone. I just went for my friends because they wanted me to go, and I thought I'll have a laugh. And they were all accountants from the city because it was in St. Paul's. So they were all accountants.
What?
And all they talked about was their money and like their position in their job in the city, and it's like,
was this 2016?
2015. This
oh
was.
My God! I hope
in
they've changed. I hope they've changed. Who likes that? Look at my briefcase, honey. It's alligator skin, and yes, you see these files. That's a major acquisition. I've just made 2 million. If I had a pussy, it'd be dry right there. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, it doesn't impress me, money. And if you're gonna try and flaunt it to me, especially during speed dating, that's the only time. Really, how long do they have?
Oh, bless them now. Oh, bless them. They need boring accountant women, maybe.
Boring accounting women who are money hungry. Because if that's the only thing they're throwing out,
if you're two city people, I'm not having a go at city people because I love the city.
I know you do.
But if you're two city people dating, what else do they talk about other than work, skiing, and who's cooking pasta that evening?
Work, skiing. Wow, your
what
list is...
bottle of red wine should we have tonight, darling?
I think your list is... I like it. It's slightly generalised, but how about this? So the work thing, the reason why they feel like they have to talk about work is because it's the only thing that keeps them apart. And they feel like if they don't talk about it, it's like they're cheating on them. They want them to know, okay, this is where I was for the last 8 hours. This is how it felt. And I feel like if I can't talk to you about it, then, you know. But the skiing, maybe the family trip or something like that, they are talking about going out. Or maybe the next date night, the pasta, or maybe Deliveroo. Like, honey, should we just order and take out and watch the next Netflix thing? Maybe. But couples, I would say, 2 city couples, they would probably talk about escaping the city.
Yeah. Let's go to...
Yeah. Like, when's your next annual leave? Oh, mine's in May. Excellent. All right, I'll book mine. When do you want? I'll just try and go for the first week. No, your mum's coming around that weekend. Damn it. All right, I'll ask for the second weekend.
And they must take all their, like, iPads and stuff, everything with them.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
They even buy, like, those little power banks so that they can charge up their phones and then their laptops and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, we don't have a plug. We don't need one, honey. We've got £100 worth of power in this rucksack. So, yeah, people, no matter what, will always be on Facebook.
So, like I said, I'm not having a go at city people. I quite like city people.
I do as well, but what I feel like is the truth has to come out after a while. I was talking to Javier Costellas. Have you met him before?
No.
He's an Argentinian, amazing comedian. He's got a really long thumb fingernail because he plays the guitar. And he's a really cool guy. But anyway, he was saying that the human beings of this generation are honest. We're more honest. Because I don't know if it's because of social media, because we grew up having generations before us being fucking liars, and we realized that didn't work. So now, because we're more honest, we're living in a world where consequences are quicker.
Yeah.
Instead of it being back in the day where it's coming at a slow pace, and when it finally catches up with them, they're too old to really pay the price. So based on that, everyone wants to leave London because there's a bigger world out there and we've told something different. And everyone wants to experience something different because if we listen to people from before who've told us lies, it's not really going to give us the experience we want. Have I just lost you? Slightly.
Kind of, but I'm always lost anyway.
Yeah. Okay. What were we talking about before?
We were talking about Littlewood, CNA,
Yeah, you
having
went
a
and
wee,
peed.
being sick.
Yeah.
And then we got into dating.
Dating, that was it. So people want something different. So 2 city people obviously can make it work because they both want to escape, or one person's going to want to sit on the couch, the other person going to go out, and it's probably working because that person who needs to stay in is going to find it in the person who wants to stay in, and the person who needs to go out is going to find it in the person who is going out. That's my point from before. I think I lost it myself, but we're back. So yeah, are you going to be doing speed dating or probably doing the app thing?
No, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave it now to the universe because I'm such a spiritual person.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So I'm just going to let life be, instead of worrying or going on this app, that app, going to meet someone for a drink and, like, it being so ridiculous and weird, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Do you remember back in the day, as kids, we just went out with someone?
Yeah.
Like, I walked up to a girl and she was like, I don't know, whatever year old. We're both short, and like a day would seem like a year in the summer. So it'd be like, do you want to go out with me? And for that whole entire summer, it seemed like we were married for 4 years. Like, I'd ride on my bike to her house and the whole day lasted. And that summer, with just that entire memory of knowing that I went out with this girl, even though years later, you know, she moved somewhere else and I did cry when she did move. But for that one summer, I had a girlfriend and we were going out. Even though I never officially called her my girlfriend, she never officially called me a boyfriend.
But
we
you
never
knew.
had titles.
You both
Exactly.
knew.
We never had titles or anything like that. But we couldn't wait to see each other. We couldn't wait to hang out.
That's so cool.
And we didn't give a fuck what we did. We could just sit there, throw rocks, look at snails, play in the dirt, climb a tree.
That's cool.
You just went out.
Yeah.
And going out, you kind of even took it into high school. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh,
Yeah.
are you and her going out? Yeah, we're going out. Shh, don't tell anyone. And you going out with him? Yeah, I'm going out with him. It was fun because you just had this, I don't want any weirdness or no bullshit. I just like hanging out with this person. That's all gone. Because, I don't know. I don't know. People have profiles now. You have to answer questions. Is it complicated? What do you, when you date somebody, would you put the fact that you're in a relationship on Facebook, or do you just put it, you're married or you're in a relationship?
I just remove it.
Okay, yeah.
Because I don't really want everyone knowing. Because then if you break up, everyone interferes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just like, oh, so I just don't think it's important, really.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
How are you about anniversaries in instead of marriage? I mean, marriage is one thing, but like,
Anniversaries are cool,
yeah,
I guess.
Valentine's
But I've
Day.
forgotten what romance is.
Really?
Yeah, forgotten what it's like to be in a relationship. I literally can't remember anything from, like, relationship.
That's probably good then, because unlike some
'Cause I can
love
just
monkeys,
go into it new now.
exactly.
Just,
I call them love monkeys. The people that they like hold on to one relationship and they won't let go until they see another branch there,
yeah.
and they essentially take the same ingredients from that
yeah.
doomed relationship into the next one. And yeah, if you give yourself some time, I mean, it's a sad word, but celibacy is celebrated in some parts of the world because a person has a time to grieve and then get rid of that feeling of that person and then go back with their life and then have a new focus instead of trying to, that person was good, but if I can just delete a few things and then copy and paste onto this next
Yeah.
one, you know what I mean? That's probably why it doesn't work.
Exactly. I'm just going to go into my next relationship with a fresh mind and to just see what happens.
And a can of whipped cream, it always helps. just keep things like dessert, always sweet. So you're a music fan. You like to party back in the day. What kind of music genres are you into?
I like my garage music.
Oh, really?
And I like I don't know all the jargon for it. I just like what I like.
Did you like MCing back in the day, like coming up with little rhymes?
I do like my UK garage and so I like deep house. But then I like Oasis. You know,
yeah.
I love Oasis. They're one of my all-time favourite bands.
Got
I like
them on my wall back
Bowie.
there.
What?
Just above the Fugees.
I like your walls. I like your walls very much. They're very cool.
Thank you very much.
So yeah,
Don't want to be on any ketamine in this house though, because it would be a bad experience for you. You'll see the Matrix. Yeah. I've taken only weed when I'm in a party, but recently somebody told me that MDMA is the in thing, and I was very curious to try it.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I backed out at the 11th hour because I wasn't in a place that I was really comfortable of doing it. But I like to try everything at least once. That's why I've been to Thailand and I had a shroom shake, which was very weird. In terms of, I thought there was a shark in the scene. It was just a rubber toy. Have you ever done any drugs other than the typical high school weed and normal stuff like that, a Lambrini?
No, I've always been a good.
You're a good girl.
I'm a good girl. I'd rather eat galaxies and.
Being your chocolate,
I'm
yeah.
pretty boring, really.
No,
wonder
you're pretty
really. I
normal.
don't want to do drugs. I want to go out drinking. And I just want to go to waitress.
And the thing is that phase, which you would have probably done it, is past now. So you were never interested in it, which is fun as well.
I'm 32 now. It's time to stop.
Just say
Stop it.
exactly. You're 30 with a couple, with barely 2 years experience, with 18 months experience. There
You keep saying that. Everyone thinks when I say I'm 32, everyone goes, "Oh, no, you're still young." No, I like being 32 and I like feeling 38.
32. Oh, okay. That's different. You definitely don't look anywhere near those 2 days that you said, but that's cool. So what's your comedy like now then? Is it more like a reflection of stuff you see that you want to call on, or is it more personal stories and
Probably
and how you
both,
feel?
because I like just doing this, just talking to people and just saying funny things, like telling what I think are funny stories and just keep talking, and I just find that people seem to laugh. So I don't know. I've got subjects that I'm going to touch on.
Yeah.
And
Well, how about
stuff.
doing your own podcast?
I really want to do my own podcast. I had a little one when a couple of months ago. I haven't really done anything since. So I'm thinking about getting, because I'll have comedians in London now to do them with.
Yeah, tons.
So, but it's like you've got all the gear. I barely know how to charge my iPhone. So I'd need someone to do all that, and then it's finds and times when everyone can get together and stuff, because everyone knows in London no one works the same shifts. Everyone's shifts are all scattered about.
Yeah.
You could be coming home from work at 2 a.m, your mate's going to work at 2, and it's just one of them, isn't it?
I guarantee you, after this episode and just in general, you'll be able to get at least 50 candidates going to DM you on your Facebook saying, "Hey, I'm ready to do an episode whenever you want."
Guys,
I'm pretty sure.
comedians, talk to me. If you want to do a podcast with me, or you just want to press record and just talk, then we can. I'm not scary. You all know me. Well, some of you know me. But I'm actually quite a nice person. And I can bring Mr. Kipling's cakes as well to the equation.
Oh,
So I can bring us them.
that's a deal
and
maker.
some sandwiches.
I believe that's a deal maker, Mr. Kipling's.
So if you do want to do a podcast, then get in touch.
What would it be called?
I don't know. It depends on. I don't know. I don't. Nameless. I don't know. I've got no imagination. Elizabeth. I don't know. Elizabeth talks. I don't know.
We can.
How did you come up with the midnight hour though?
My email's been Midnight Mail for years because I used to write an article for a video game magazine, because I always used to submit my articles in before midnight. I'm an insomniac. And one guy just said, "Oh, Midnight Mail, okay, right. You should be called the Midnight Man." I was like, "Huh? Well, that was all weird." I was like, "Midnight." So I just kept the name, and one of my friends one day just said, "Oh, you can do a podcast?" I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Shouldn't you just call it the Midnight Hour then?" I'm like, "Oh, that sounds good. I like the song." So I called it the Midnight Hour Podcast, and I had to spell it differently because my email is spelt the way midnight is spelt, not the way midnight should be spelt. So I'm sorry for people out there who have got good grammar. You're like, "I've been trying to spell it for ages, I can't find it." It's spelled Ignite, Midnite. But yeah, that's why I called it the Midnight Hour, because my mate told me to call it that, and it was a great name, and I love him to bits.
I don't know what mine would be called.
There'll be many things. I feel like there's something true to you. I don't know, like, what was the name of the first show that you put on for your friend with the tickets?
Get down here now. I'm about to go on and make you laugh. Probably that.
Okay, all right. We could probably shorten it a bit. Like Get On Down to Lizzie Town. There's many things we can do. But I reckon
If anyone's got any suggestions, and if you do want to do one with me, like I say, I'm not scary.
the Elizabeth Scott Show, the Elizabeth Scott Podcast, the Elizabeth Scott Experience, the Elizabeth Scott Project, most of those would just about make people tingle, because they're like, "Oh, what, it's an actual name now? We've got a title to work with? Okay, where do I type it?" You'll definitely get followers.
The Elizabeth
definitely.
Scott Project.
There's many. I reckon people watch it regardless. And, you know, how long are you looking to do it for? Like half an hour, 10 minutes, 15
Half
minutes?
an hour.
Okay.
I think could do it.
Okay, and are you going to, ask them questions, set questions, or are you just
I
going to
think it'd be more topics, talking about topics.
Okay.
What topic do you want to talk about that week?
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. I like a bit of gossip. Bit of Kardashians, a bit of Love and Hip Hop. You watch Love and Hip Hop?
No, I don't like the Kardashians and all them stuff.
No.
I don't watch all that.
They're crazy.
Can't be doing. I don't support anyone really who feeds them their airtime.
Well, it's hard to get it over here. I don't know who watches it.
They just all seem to be in magazines constantly
TMZ.
for just being fabulous. But again, that's what I want in life.
You want a
Maybe
big,
I should go and befriend them.
You want a big butt and weird cameras in your face all the time and all of that?
Probably not. No.
Yeah, you're lucky. You haven't been born into that crazy house.
Maybe more like the Osbournes.
Hey, see that's something that I can live
I
with.
used to love that.
Yeah, and I like Black Sabbath, so.
Used to try and
Aussies.
dye my hair pink like Kelly. Used to have short pink hair like Kelly Osbourne. Loved
Really?
that.
So you
Wants
did the
to be
dyeing
a-
thing?
I did what?
The dyeing thing, like you dyed your hair. How
but it
many
just went a
times?
weird colour.
Pink.
It just went like an orangey because I didn't like bleach my hair,
Ah,
I
you
just put it
added
over it.
Yeah, yeah.
and it just went a really weird colour. So
Ever
I
done
wanted
the-
to be.
Sorry, have you done like a fancy dress to dress up?
If I ever done fancy dress,
Yeah.
I don't think so. I've dressed as a Playboy bunny for Halloween.
Okay.
I've dressed as
Obviously, you did the prostitute when you were
I dressed
doing
as a
that show.
prostitute. I don't know. Every day, everywhere's a fashion show, isn't it?
Mhm.
Everywhere's a catwalk. So just be fabulous. I don't believe in fancy dress parties.
Really?
Yeah, 'cause I'm fancy enough.
Am I not dressed fancy enough? Okay. I was gonna say because there's a big market of people dressing up. It's called cosplayers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to when I lived in Stratford. I used to continuously just like walk around the station and just see all these costumes on the DLR,
Yeah.
and they were all going to Comic-Con.
Mhm.
Oh,
See, the truth is, I was getting to a slight point of you kind of have a face for somebody who could play a character in like a TV show, or maybe
like Downton Abbey or Game of Thrones or something. Because I've been told I look
Absolutely.
very regal. I've been told I
Absolutely.
look like I could be related to the royals.
Shannon Shamrock is just a name I'm thinking of, like a warrior princess who's like fighting in the, I don't know, year 8 BC Gaelic times, I don't know. Because you've got Scottish and Irish in you, so you can easily do that lineage. Do you know what I mean?
I could play a young Queen Elizabeth I.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people like here who play Clash of Clans think she's the girl on it. Stop it, just because she's got red hair, but she is kind of similar looking. But yeah, you've got that face, which is, I think you're easily marketable. So you could probably dabble into some other stuff, TV and stuff.
I
Don't
know.
make fun of EastEnders, you might be Danny Dyer's next wife. So where is your show tomorrow?
It's a Monkey Business. I always say Moulin Rouge. It's
Moulin
Cafe
Rouge.
I always say it's Cafe Rouge, Elizabeth, and it's in Hampstead.
Okay, Cafe Rouge in Hampstead.
Yeah.
And you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter.
I am Elizabeth Scott, and I don't know what my Twitter. I think it's at Ellie Beth Scott.
Ellie Beth Scott.
Ellie Beth Scott.
Ellie Beth Scott.
ELLIEBETHSCOTT. That's my Twitter.
Podcast coming soon. Instagram as well.
Oh, I'm always putting selfies on, aren't I?
Yes. Snapchat.
Betty Scott 85.
Oh wow. Okay, so we have a Snapchat as well, guys. Listen, she's connected. I'll throw all of those little links down below as well. So you use as a musical fan, so I expect you to give me something nice to play the show out with.
Yes, I believe it is The Streets, and what song did I pick?
Well, no, we already started with that song. You've got a next song now.
Oh.
Completely different from that
So
song.
I can put anything on?
Anything you want. Anything you want.
Oh, Fashion David Bowie.
Oh, nice. Nice. Did you want another tea?
No, I'm alright, thank you.
There we go. I usually pick the one with lyrics because
In case we get a bit leery and want to sing along.
exactly. It's always fun to sing along. Okay, so we have come up to that part of the episode where you all said, yes, we're about to finish. So I'll allow David Bowie, in true fashion, to show the wonderful, radiant, and as we all agree, amazing relationship with Mr. Scott. Thank you for coming down tonight, my love.
Thank you.
Hope you have fun with the thing in central London tonight, and I hope you come on the show soon. Let us know about your gigs and your dates and how you're doing in life. You've been amazing. You guys have been amazing too. So I want you to stay cool, stay happy, and stay